So tonight out on the trail, I noticed something new with Little Miss. And it kind of came, there's like this little ditch with some water in it, and it's like at the base of a pretty steep hill. So she jumped over that, and the tail of my Makati rein must have, the only thing I can really think in my brain, because it's her right flank that's especially sensitive. The left side, not so much. I feel like my Makati rein, because it's longer and dangles down from my belt, came underneath her belly and touched her on the right flank. So we ended up going up the hill quickly in circles, her hopping around, but then there's a highway right there. So she was real worried right at the top of that hill, and we are literally on the side of the highway. So I got her settled and hopped down till I could get into a spot where it was safe for me to be doing that, because the last thing I want is for a horse to back up into the highway and us get hit by a car. So got her into a safe place, got on, and I brought up my Makati so it wasn't touching her on the flank, and it did touch her one more time, and she got a little worried again. I got her settled real quickly, and that was fine. But it was just really odd. She was clearly worried about it. So when I got back to the arena, I took out, I rode her around and used my Makati and worked it around her flanks and all over the place, and she wasn't bothered by it. So, but I just think the way that she jumped over that ditch, because I've not worked on jumping her over anything, but I just think that it really caused her to be worried. So anyway, I set it up in the arena tonight then. When we got back, I used my lariat and I roped her flank, and there was a lot of bucking that went on. And I just took care of it until I held on until she relaxed, and I did that on every angle that I could possibly find. Roped all 4 legs, which I've done before with her, but I've not roped her flank. Another thing I've not done is I've not ridden her with a rear cinch. The saddle that I have that fits her the best doesn't have a rear cinch, and that is something that I feel would bother her had I not discovered this tonight. So it never seemed like a thing that I needed to work on with her until I discovered it today. So I went ahead and worked on that as thoroughly as I could, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I'm really anxious to work on this, and I think that she's going to do just fine. It's just an area that she's like, I'm sensitive there, don't touch me.
This video was actually taken on a different day with a different horse, but I wanted to include it to use as a visual so you could see the location where this happened. As you can see, it's just a small ditch, but it's definitely something that horses want to kind of hop over, and being right on that steep incline on the side of the highway is what made it a little bit more difficult. Now this is our work session that we had after we got back from our trail ride. Something I really love about this particular horse is that her groundwork is so soft and solid that even when she's upset and bucking, she still maintains a really nice float on the lead rope and minds my space and doesn't put me in any kind of danger. Typically, I only do this exercise in a round pen, but with this horse, it just really wasn't necessary. What I'm doing here is I have my rope around her flank, and I apply gentle pressure, and as soon as she settles, the pressure is released. Now, I'm not putting much pressure on here at all. It's just enough for it to be touching her. So it's not that it's tight or hurting her in any manner. It's just the fact that it's there, and she does not like it. But as soon as she settles, that pressure is immediately released.
There must be just a certain spot or something. I found it. Yeah. Say so.
gonna change though.
I always make sure to work on both sides of the horse until I feel like they are equal. Now, as you can see here, I take my rope and I slide it back just a little bit to create a different angle. It just puts pressure on a different part of the horse. And I feel like this is really important because I want to make sure to check out all areas and make sure that she gets comfortable with this. And again, as soon as she settles down, she immediately gets that release and pressure. If I were to release the pressure at the wrong time, I would actually teach this horse to buck, because we always want to release pressure when it's right. With that being said, I would not recommend trying this at home without the help of a professional.
Nice job.
This footage is of the next day with the exact same work being done. I really like to approach the same thing the next day after a horse has had a little bit of time to soak on it so they can understand it a little bit better. When done correctly, this exercise really can help prevent a future wreck, either with the horse getting injured by getting tangled up in something, or like in the situation that I had with this horse where the rope simply touches her in the wrong spot. I think that this really helps set the horse up for success in the future.
So today, I am getting I'm not getting any reaction out of Little Miss with the rope around her flank. And this is really fantastic. I'm super pleased with how she's responded to our session from last night, because our situation yesterday was a little on the scary side. And I felt it was necessary to put the rope around her flank and get that checked out really well. I'm super happy with that. I'm going to let it just kind of fall off of her. I'm really pleased with how she did today versus last night over that. And she really did very good last night. She was just very reactive at first, but she's super smart and she just picks up on things so fast. So glad we were able to work through that. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching Little Miss's progress. And I know I always enjoy going back and seeing the changes that were made in such a short period of time.